right, number 4, it says Susan is watching her neighbor's dog for 5 days, and 5 is kind of hidden into the words there. And make that pop out. Her neighbor left her a total of 35 5/10 ounces of dog food to feed the dog. If she gives the same amount of food each day, how many ounces of dog food will the dog get each day? So when I think about the dog getting food each day and what I do have the total. And I'm going to be separating that total over 5 days, 5 groups. And I want to know the each amount, which this tells me I'm going to be separating this, which means I will be dividing. So we're separating into equal groups. And the next thing that we're going to want to do is set up our problem so that we have our dividend, which is 135 5/10, and we're dividing by a group of 5. And before I even get started, I see that I have a decimal in this problem, so I'm going to pop up my decimal first, and then I'm going to pretend as if it's not there. So I start with the number 1. How many groups of 5 are in the number 1? And there are none, so I'm going to put a 0 there. I'm going to move my finger over. How many groups of 5 are in the number 13? That would give me 2. And 2 groups of 5 is 10. And 13 minus 10 is 3. Bringing down the next number, which would be 5, I get to start all over again, and I think to myself, how many groups of 5 will give me 35? So that number would be 7. And 7 groups of 5 is 35. When I subtract that, I don't have anything left over, and I'm going to bring down my final number, which happens to be a 5. How many groups of 5 are in 5? And that would be 1. 1 group of 5 is 5. And so my answer is 27 1/10. Should be answer D. Another thing I want you to notice, boys and girls, is that when you're dividing, place value is super important. And every time you have a number as part of your dividend, you should have a matching number in the quotient. Even if it's a 0, and that decimal place should just line up nicely. So those are just some helpful tips that may help you keep things straight as you're working through problems.